Okay, we are going to walk through a WFS shipment. This is shipping to a Walmart warehouse, and let's get into it. There is a lot to cover here. So, this is going to be pretty direct, but there is a lot that can go wrong. There's a lot of errors that happen, and it's kind of try and try again. So I will try my best to kind of give you a good overview of what to expect and what to do. It is, if it's your first time, it's very confusing, but then I think it's confusing because it's so simple too, and you expect it to be more and more helpful, more information, and they're really like put your stuff in a box and send it. You don't even always have to label it. So let's get into it. The first thing you need to do is add whatever item you want to send into a Walmart warehouse to your inventory. So when I am sourcing, I source for Walmart at home. I usually source at Walmart. When I'm just sitting down looking at stuff that could be profitable, I will add that product to my inventory. Now, when you add something to your inventory, you don't have to add product. You don't have to add like actual items. You just have to add that specific ASIN SKU to your inventory, and then you come back in to add your quantity. So what I do is I like to add the item to my inventory to make sure it populates correctly. I think that this is really important because some things just errors pop up and it doesn't populate well. It takes a couple days. You can get error messages. Like I do a lot of socks. And I can have 4 different types of socks, 3 input fine. The 4th, it'll think it's some sort of hazmat item, and so it just does not go smoothly. So I really feel like before you jump into buying, you should add these items to your inventory to make sure they populate correctly. You simply do that like you would add a merchant item at the top of your inventory dashboard. Click add items. I got this product identifier, and I talk about listing on Walmart. You can find other tutorials, but I got this product identifier, this number here in the URL. So when I searched this item on Walmart, I just went to the top of the page in the URL, grabbed this number, and I put it into add an item, and my listing pops up here. And I simply click add item. Right? Easy so far. Okay. This is the next page you see. Now, if you just want to add it seller fulfilled to your inventory, you do that here in fulfillment type. In this case, we are going to add it Walmart fulfilled. So we're going to do that from the beginning. Now, you can add something seller fulfilled and switch it over to WFS once it's in your catalog. But, and I did play around with adding items first seller fulfilled, then switching them over to see, like, was it an easier process? No, it wasn't. It's easier just to, from the beginning, add it Walmart fulfilled, and if there's an error issues, work through them at that point. So we're adding Walmart fulfilled, and then you have to, everything here on Walmart is pounds. So these would be a pound, putting your price, SKU, and I'm going to actually work down this page. This is what you would see next after it switched. As soon as you push to WFS Walmart fulfilled, it gives you more options. Other things pop up on the page. So when you scroll down, you'll be given more questions. Sales restrictions, I clicked none. Okay, so let me go back. Electrical component, no. Now, when I continue to scroll down, you're given this section, add a single item, and you can add each GTIN, inner pack GTIN, case GTIN. This part really messed me up mentally. So I'm just going to add each GTIN for all the products I'm adding in the box. And I like to have this page where I added the product continue to pull up. I know this is confusing, but I like to keep this page open in a browser because if you click more info here, you're given all of these product identifiers. And sometimes you need a UPC, sometimes it's asking for different ones. So I like to keep this page open so I can simply copy the GTIN, add it here, and then my measurements, again, you have to do pounds. So then we're scrolling. This is still adding the single item, country of origin, and it wants the GTIN again. Now, if it thinks it's hazmat or something else, down here will also open and will say like how many batteries are involved. Sometimes it'll be wanting like the nutritional information, a picture of the product. So you really do have to work through this several times to get a hang of what it's asking. When you click submit at the bottom of the page, it'll give you a piece of information that if there's an error, it'll say error, missing this. Sometimes it'll say picture. Sometimes it'll say the product identifiers do not match. And I realize that maybe the orderable GTIN I posted here and the GTN at the beginning, I mess up my numbers. It really is try and try again. I'm surprised this one added really easily. So I simply push submit and I got that error code successfully added. Go to your activity feed. Now it'll say go to your activity feed, and you can actually see on the, when you go back into Walmart Seller Center, you can see on the left hand side something that says activity feed. When you open that up, you'll be able to see that you just added that item to your inventory, and it'll show if there's a problem or error. And then you can, if there is an error, you can actually click on it and hopefully fix it. Sometimes it's missing information. But if you also have to open a case with Walmart, they want that activity feed ID for the product you just added. And I know this is confusing. It's confusing because you're not actively walking through it. But okay, so once you submit an item WFS, it can take several minutes. 10 minutes is like the seller fulfilled. It can sometimes take 10 minutes. Sometimes it's instantly. Sometimes it's 20 minutes. Until it populates in your inventory. It'll show up in your inventory like all of your other products, but under fulfillment, it'll then say seller fulfilled WFS eligible. This means you just inputted this product and you want a WFS eligible. You want to send it WFS, but you have not done that yet. So that's what you need to see. If you submit something just seller fulfilled, you would just see seller fulfilled. If it is in the WFS warehouse, it'll say Walmart fulfilled here. So once, I know this is not the socks we just added, but I wanted to show you, once you input the item, it should show up in your inventory, and then you can see the status, if it's pending, if there's an error. I actually added Wonder Nation yesterday to see, because I know this is a Walmart brand, but I wanted to see if I could sell it. Error, no, you cannot sell it. So the status is also important. It'll say published, error, it'll need more information. Sometimes I get an error message and I think, well, I can't sell it, and then I'll come back in a day and it's published. So we have to wait until the item populates in your inventory, and then you can finish your WFS shipment. Now at this point, you've not started your WFS shipment. You have just added your inventory to your catalog to make sure you can sell it WFS. I know it's a process, and this is what I was saying at the beginning. I like to add my inventory to my catalog to make sure it's good, it's there. I can actually sell it WFS. I'm not running into issues. And then once it's there, then I actually place my purchases. And I have a bunch of Walmart purchases behind me of inventory, because then I feel like I'm going in this at the least amount of risk. I know I can sell it. I got my product and I'm ready to go. So now we're actually starting our WFS shipment. You will go to the WFS tab on the left-hand side of your Walmart Seller Center browser, and you will click Inventory. Now, if you do not have WFS set up correctly, you would not have this drop-down menu. And I kind of learned this the hard way. And this is what I'll say about Walmart. They really run their merchant and their WFS side separately. You can't do both together. You know, when you sign on for a Walmart account, you can list stuff seller fulfilled, but it's almost like you have to go through another setup process to get WFS in order. Really what they want you to do is like submit a bank account, go through those steps, and then you'll be given the WFS option, and that really surprised me. So if you don't see this drop down, it's because you're not set up all the way. But if you are, you'll click Inventory, and then you'll be manage inventory. You can, okay, let me see. On the inventory page, let me go back. Once you click Inventory, you'll be sent to another page that will show you all of your WFS inventory stock you have already there. And at the top of the page, you can click Manage Inventory. It's a drop down, and click Send Inventory. And this is when you start your inbound order. This is what it looks like. This is why I said it's great to have your inventory already in stock. You have to have that set up first, because what it's basically doing is, I'll show you, I'll get to that step. So expected delivery date, I usually put this out a week. You add your ship from address. For some reason, I have to add this every time. It's not saving it, but maybe that's a me problem. Down here, send inventory, you can click this item name and it will give you the option to search your catalog with a GTIN, a UPC, any product identifier. I'm going to use the GTIN. And it will pull up, this is in your inventory. You can send it WFS. This was the Hanes socks, and I simply click add to order. So this is what I was referring to when I said the item has to be populated, WFS eligible in your inventory before you can start your shipment order. But once it's in, you're good to go. Add to your order, and you can search your inventory and add anything that's WFS eligible into this order. Walmart, once you get to this step, I know everything is kind of confusing, but listen, once you work through it once, it makes sense. There's just not a lot of rules. They're like, throw it in the box. You don't even have to label it. You can label it. What you want to do is scan the barcode and make sure that that barcode that you scan with your Walmart app pulls up the listing you want to sell on. If it doesn't, I will show you, you need to print a label. That's the main thing. You also need to include expiration dates if it's a food item. And I did actually open a case with Walmart yesterday about multiple policies, and I don't think they have one. They were very confused by what I was asking. And when I read through their fine print, it says temperature controlled, like refrigerated. So that's the only thing that came up. You can't obviously send perishable products like milk. And I'm sending shoes, socks, a bunch of stuff like plush. So I am actually going to be bagging that stuff and tagging it. I don't need to print off any expiration dates, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So you add this to the order. And like I said, you can go through and quickly add however many products you want to add to this order. This is what it'll look like. My first one, I'm sending in individual units. You'll also be given a case pack option. But in this shipment, I'm going to send a bunch of different stuff. And you can see it here, total items 1, and there's 10 in the master case here. And if you go right here, print, you will see this page. And that's where you can print your labels. It can be difficult, so it gives you a couple options. I usually do the 1 label per page, and I'm printing it to my Dymo. But what I have to do is download the label and edit it so it will correctly print to my Dymo. It's not, now that I've done it several times, I can do it a little bit quicker, but the first time was such a pain to get it to edit correctly in the correct orientation, to print right. It was a pain. So if you go through it and you're like, oh my God, it was a pain. Now, should you label your products even though you don't have to? It's really up to you. Now, I did have somebody recently message me saying they didn't need a label, but when they got there, it wasn't scanning correctly, and so they were charged, Walmart charged them to put the label on. They don't charge a lot. It's similar to Amazon, but that kind of made me nervous, so I have been labeling all my own products, even though I don't need to. And of course, if you're doing a multi-pack or the UPC is covered on the product, you would need to label it as well. But I know a lot of people who don't label and do fine. I think I'm just a little bit paranoid about it. So going back to this page, once you get everything in, you print all your labels, you click create, and it will want you to verify the fees. It'll tell you this shipment is going to be $8 to ship, and things like that. And it will also give you the option to split this order into multiple boxes. You're verifying all that information that you're accepting the fees, and you create it, and then it will bring you back into your Walmart Seller Center account and drop you to a page that you'll be able to print the labels. So similar to Amazon, you're printing 2 labels for the outside of the box. One is going to be the label that they print at FedEx. You're shipping it from FedEx. And the other one is going to be for the WFS warehouse. So that is the same. Once you print your labels, put them on the box, drop it off at FedEx, you're good to go. My items, I am in the Midwest, it's going to Kentucky, have been getting checked in very quickly. Once you can see, just like Amazon, you can see the box is in transit. Then once it's checked in, you'll see in your WFS inventory the product is sitting there and ready for resale. So yeah, I hope this is helpful. If you're feeling overwhelmed by this process, you're not alone. It can be a process, and I think the biggest issue you'll probably run into is getting error codes that don't make sense. Uh, and I haven't found a great workaround for that yet. Just try and try again and filling out different parts of it. And you'd be surprised how many times I get an error code and I think, well, whatever, I'm just going to move on. And then I find 2 days later it added to my inventory okay. So it's kind of some question marks here for me, but I'm consistent. But if you have any other questions, of course, feel free to reach out. I hope this is helpful.